once I realized that's not who I am no more, then I was able to distinguish that this voice is not from God. And I was able to hold those thoughts captive and resist the enemy. And every single time I've been doing that, and I've been holding on to that victory, and the enemy's been just fleeing, and I've just been walking in complete deliverance ever since.
I have a lot of respect for you that you can sit in the studio and talk about that, because I think a lot of men are shameful of that. And you and I share that same testimony, because when I was about, I guess, around 11 or 12 years old, I discovered my uncle's trunk of porn. And I'm Gen X, you know, back in the 90s. So back then it wasn't like it is now. It's like VHS tapes and magazines. Yeah. And I can tell you from that point, and it didn't, you know, from that point, I had an unrealistic expectation about sex for decades. And it didn't, you know, also what formed in me in that was like I had two siblings, an older sister and a younger sister, and they all the time had their friends spend the night. So, you know, things happen. But going forward, even up into, especially when you end up on drugs, especially methamphetamine, it intensifies that with the pornography and the sexual addiction and all those other things. And, you know, for you to sit here in a studio in front of, you know, thousands of people and followers and things like that and say that, it takes a lot of courage to do that, you know, to talk about that kind of thing. And well, I applaud you for that. Man.
Amen.
Well, I'll say too, you know, the clients that I work with, I've had so many adult male clients who break down in front of me and tell me, like, I've never shared this with anybody in my life. And they go into very similar stories. And there is so much stigma, I think, around if being a man, and a man, you know, can't be victimized, quote unquote, all these societal rules and expectations that people grow up being poured into them. And so to hear people with a platform be willing and vulnerable to talk about the real crap that we go through as human beings walking this planet, it not only is it freeing for you, but it really brings freedom and courage for the other people who have yet to disclose things like that.
Yeah.